Hello, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in back. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. And I want to say thank you to all my subscribers out there. Thank you so much. And if you're a new person here in this family here, we talk about it's just basically on relationship, namely dating, courting, marriage, or whatever it is, as long as it has to do with relationship in a godly perspective, that's in a godly way, that's relationship, a godly perspective of relationship, and how well we as a Christian we ought to that is by God's grace, God's expectation of us in our relationship. So that's just basically what we talk about. So in today's relationship talk, we're going to focus on relationship dilemma. Relationship dilemma. Yes, it is an interesting topic, and I know that when we talk about relationship dilemma, it's majorly that's focused on the married people, but it doesn't also mean that there's no relationship dilemma. That's especially with younger people. That's younger people. So when we talk about relationship dilemma, then what are we referring to? So this is something we're going to be watching. This is what by God's grace we're going to be discussing today. Don't fail to leave your comments maybe after the lesson. If you have a question, you have a comment or suggestion or whatever it is you feel like you would love to share, it will be nice you drop it in the comment section below. And if you find the video or the platform a place you love to belong to, especially if you're new here, you can consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss out whenever I make new uploads. Also like the channel, so that's like the content if you find it interesting. Yeah, the more you like, assuming you find it interesting, by God's grace you'll find it interesting. Yeah, but when you like the content, it also helps the algorithm pick it up, that's to recommend it to other people. You never know who it could be of benefit, so it's okay to um, like the channel, that's you find it interesting. Okay. Yeah, sorry for the little background noise. I think he's wanting to come around, but I think it's with daddy now that daddy has come to carry her. All right. When we talk about relationship dilemma, going straight to what we have for today, please try to watch until the end so you don't miss out. That to get the most out of the video today, please ensure to watch until the end. So when we talk about relationship dilemma, what actually, like, simply what we actually what actually is being referred to, it can be referred to as being familiar. We can say it's about being familiar with your partner, that's being you're kind of used to. Yeah, because and just like assuming, that's why I said it's majorly found as among those who are married, or it can also be among those who are not yet married together. Like if you're with this person or you're hoping to spend the rest of your life with that person, sometimes you might just not be interested. Like you're not really that sparkle, initially when you go into a relationship that's marriage, that you go into a long time committed relationship with somebody. At that initial stage, there is usually this kind of sparkle, like happiness. You love to hear from this person, you love to speak with this person, you would like to always check up on this person at least every day to know how this person is doing. That is a sparkle, that is something of an interest that is there in the relationship, and that is okay. It's found among people who are interested in each other. So usually when you are in a relationship and it's normally like that, so but when that sparkle keeps going down, it's almost seeming like the other person is just maybe existing. You're not, whether the person is there or whether the person is not there, you will, that interest is not there. And let me say, if you're married to that person or this other person and that sparkle goes off, it's more like you're living with you're living with some other person in a house. So there is no connection. There is no connection there. And when you're yet to and if you're yet to get married to this other person, that's you're not yet married. And maybe when even when it's time for when you will meet up, that's for during the dating time, when you will meet up at a specific place, or at a particular place, based on your own church arrangements and whatever it is. When you're saying something, or even though it's on the phone, when you're talking, just notice that this other person is cold, is no longer interested. Like, you just notice that coldness, right? That is relationship. Permit me, please. I wrote it down somewhere so I don't forget some of the tips I would love to share with you. Yeah, so when that's at that stage where that sparkle, that love, that caring, or whatever it is, as it's firing, begins to go cold over time, then it's referred to as relationship dilemma. Just like I also mentioned, like, this is something that majorly can be found among couples. That's the different things come up when couples, so activities, one thing or the other. There are many things that lead to this thing, and we're going to be looking into those things as we go further in the talk today. So what are some of the what are some of the causes of relationship dilemma? What are some of the things that causes this relationship or this coldness in a relationship? One of such things are poor communication. It could be as a result of poor communication. So when maybe there's an unresolved, there's differences or something that this other person is doing, you don't really appreciate it, and you don't really like that thing this other person is doing, and you fail to communicate to that person, or maybe the way you're communicating it, it's not right. This can cause coldness. This can cause a gradual drifting apart. So poor communication is one of the major factors of relationship, one of the factors or common causes of relationship dilemma. Because it's not something you'd be like, okay, let me not talk about it. If you don't talk about it, it's already there. You're feeling it on the inside of you. So the best thing is not to just say, okay, I'm not going to talk about it at all, but rather look for a better way, look for a better time, and all of that, to communicate it. So poor communication is one of the issue why some people, those maybe couples, if they're already married, or those who are yet to go into a long-time committed relationship as marriage, experience relationship dilemmas. So the next reason why some persons can experience these dilemmas can be differences in priorities. Differences in priorities. Priorities can be like certain things that you on your own, you wouldn't compromise on those things, and maybe your spouse also know on her own or his own, he wouldn't compromise on these things. And it now happens to be that both of you are opposites, that you're not interested in that thing. So in the sense that this one person is interested in it, while the other person is basically like not interested in it. So that is, or how will I say it, the other person is more like unapproving to whatever it is this other person is approving, very much approving, and really desires. So that can really cause relationship dilemma. So another causes of relationship dilemma can be as a result of finance. Yeah, finance can be a very serious issue in a relationship. So that's why it's very important, if you're having any difficulty, having any differences or anything, you have to trash it and know how you are going to handle your financial aspects as couples. And even though you're still dating, yes, it is important during that courting phase, during that dating phase, these are topics you talk about. How are you going to handle your finance? That's your finances. How do you deal with your finances? And so many other way. So the next one is like past experiences. No, it's okay. We all grow from different backgrounds. We all grow from different um, atmosphere, whatever it is, and families. But you know, when you're coming into a relationship, it's okay to share these differences, your background and everything with your family, but it's also necessary you don't let it interfere, and you don't allow it come in the place. Let me say, some persons who maybe during their child, let me take for instance, let me say during their past experience, they might have had a hard time in a relationship. Let me say, if you were a guy, you've had a hard time in your relationship, or maybe anytime you try committing or try giving your all, committing your love and your concern and everything that's to be in the relationship. Anytime you try doing that, one thing you notice is you notice the other person, that's the lady, gets uninterested, like takes you for granted, or maybe something like that comes up that gives you a very bad feeling in the relationship. So as a result, you try not to, it's more like you try to hide your feelings. It's more like you try to, even with this person now you're married to. So you're married to this person, but you're scared. You never know, like maybe the relationship, to avoid it going bad, or maybe the lady becoming uninterested. This kind of a little bit insecurity that makes you feel a bit withdrawn, and that is, you don't express yourself fully. You just try to hide your love, your care, and all of it. You're supposed to bring it full into the relationship. You try to hide it. These are past experiences. So some of these past experiences can be a very huge source of relationship dilemma. So you have to take note of your experiences, or whatever it is that could come into the relationship and cause any form of problems in the relationship, and avoid it and keep it behind it. Let it be your past and move forward only with attributes and qualities that you know it's going to be beneficial in your relationship. All right, the list keeps going on and on and on. It's so much. See, some of sex and intimacy, arguments, and all of it. It keeps going on and on. And it's important to know that the relationship dilemma is something, it's normal if it comes up. The only thing that is not okay is when the both people don't pay attention to what is the reason of this coldness. Let me take for example, assuming you feel in yourself, you feel a bit cold, you feel a bit kind of withdrawn from your partner, that's from your spouse, your husband, your wife, or from the person you are about to go into a long-term commitment with. Assuming you feel that's withdrawn, or that cold, or that familiar, like nothing interesting and nothing like wanting to bond, or he's just there, she's just there. Assuming you have that kind of feeling, now the what is not okay is for you to take it on and take it to be, it's fine to feel that way. After all, we're married, or after all, what is there, like, just, it's not okay to have to relax with that feeling. No, it's not okay. It's advisable that when you're noticing you that you're going cold towards your partner, or you even notice that maybe you're not the one going cold, but you notice that your partner, that your spouse, is going cold towards you, all you need to do is have a conversation, have an open conversation. Yes, make sure you discuss it with this other person. Have an open conversation. Let it be faced on tackling the issue at hand. Like, by the time you have this conversation that is open, focus on handling what could be the reason for that coldness in between. Because now you're living with somebody, or that you're married to someone to spend the rest of your life, doesn't mean that you will be bored, should be bored with that person, or you should find the person uninteresting and all of that. No. So if you find yourself uninteresting and bored in your relationship, or withdrawn, then it is something you should address. It is something you should address. And how are you going to address it is by having an open communication. So communicate with this other person, call the person's attention to it, and you both iron out what really the issue is in the relationship. And if maybe if maybe you're saying you're not married, you're not married to this other person, but you know you're intending to go into a long-term commitment with this other person. So it is necessary you have that communication, that open communication with that person. I notice you're a bit kind of uninterested anymore in the relationship and all of that, and what could be the result and all of that. So you listen to that other person. The person might say something of, I noticed this and I don't like it, and look at this, I don't appreciate it. Or the person might be like, I'm no longer interested in the relationship, like moving forward to marriage with you. So it's okay, you open up to understand why the person feels that way. If it's something you can address, then that's fine. If it's something that you cannot address, let me say someone said, I just got to realize that I'm not comfortable being in this long relationship with you because of where you're coming from, that's your background, because you're from Yoruba or because you're from anywhere, then I don't want to get married to that people of that kind of set. And let me say, for instance, actually trusted God to guide you to a relationship, and He guided you, or He directed you to that person, a particular man or that particular woman. It's not something you feel like, okay, I'll have to force him or her, the word is finished for me. No, you just appreciate the person's honesty and communication. Then you go back to God, you pray to God about it. Look at what this person is saying. What do you want me to do? So you seek a go ahead, you seek a guidance, and everything you seek it from God. Yeah, that you seek it from God. And if necessary, when you've communicated to that person and the person is saying all this, and you go and you pray about it, if need be, and you feel okay, you both might need to consult the help of a professional counselor, a professional therapist. You can always reach out to me, or you can reach out to any other professional you trust in and you believe in to guide you right, especially a Christian professional that will guide you, also not against the way of God. Okay? Yeah. But it's important before you get to the point of seeking the help of a counselor, you both discuss these differences and at least get to a spot. Let it be that it's not heading anywhere, or you're not seeing any meaningful thing coming out from it, and you feel okay, I think you need to, before you say goodbye or whatever it is, it's nice to hear from a counselor, seek guidance from a counselor. All right. Okay, but for some of us who, for those of us, the first one I said was for those of us who are unmarried. So now for those of us who are married, humility, and I think what you need to do at that point also is have an open communication with your spouse. It's important to have an open communication. Discuss what the differences is. Discuss what the challenge is. Be open. You're not fighting the other person. You're trying to see how to bring in that sparkle back, to bring in that fire back between you both. So you have that open communication with your spouse and you pray for your home. Just keep praying. Never fail praying for your partner. Never fail praying for your home. Never fail praying. And if necessary, you feel like you want to need a help of a counselor or whoever it is, it's not a bad idea. It's going for the help of anyone you know this can help you. But by all means, let the guidance you seek, let it be within the context that will be in the line of God's will. That let it not be something that will take you away from God's own will in your life and in your relationship. So please seek a counsel from a guardian that you trust so well is going to guide you in the way of God. Yeah. So now, in summary, I would like to give this advice to those of us who are still unmarried. It is important that you know that marriage is a long time commitment. It's easy to say yes, I know, but sometimes emotions tends to blind the eyes that you yes, I know in the head, but when it is time, you're carried away with things that are not really should be it. You just see, let me say, you getting carried away with his physique or with her physique, or you get carried away with things that are not really what you should be carried away with. So it's important you know that marriage is, you know it inside yourself, you speak it into yourself, so that this will guide you even when you're looking for who to settle with, when you're searching, during that searching phase. You know that marriage is a long time journey. Just like we discussed today, relationship dilemma. Yes, things pop up in a relationship. There are challenges that come up in a relationship to shake the relationship. So you need to be with the right person. And when I'm talking about the right person, who is the right person for you? The right person for you is God's will for you. God's will for you. There is somebody God expects you to spend the rest of your life with. Bible said it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make a help meet for him. He's the one that makes it. And you remember when we go back to Genesis, he was the one that brought Eve to Adam. When you trust God, and perhaps he said, in all your ways, acknowledge me, and I will direct your path. So it's very much advisable you trust God as a young person to guide you to who he wants you to spend the rest of your life with. Why? Because he made you, and he knows the person with whom you will run this journey. He knows the person that is a better fit, the best fit for you. So it's very much advisable not to get carried away with emotion. Speak it to yourself. Speak it to yourself. Yeah, speak it to yourself, not to get carried away with emotion, not to get carried away with everything. What is God saying? Is God saying go ahead to that relationship that's coming your path? Or you're a young man, you saw a young lady you're interested in. Have you sought God's consent? Have you heard from God? What did God say to you? Did he say that is the lady for you? Did he say that? If he doesn't say that, then wait till you hear from him. Make sure you hear from him. And if he says the lady's not the one from you, don't don't stress it. That is not just the right person for you. You can still go ahead with that lady, but it's not for your own good. So it's a long time journey, and that is why you need to get it right. You need carefulness, you need patience, you need persistent prayer to get it right in your relationship. And that's my earnest heart desire, is that you get it right in your relationship. And don't try to force any relationship. Let God be the one guiding you in every relationship. Let God be the one guiding you. And for those of us who are married, it's also necessary you keep communicating as much as you can. It's necessary to keep praying and praying and praying for your family and for your home as much as you can. And if necessary, both for those of us who are married and for those of us who are married, if need be, you think you would love to seek help of a trained counselor or professional counselor, it is okay to do so. Don't see that a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. You can always reach out to me. The information will be dropped in the description below, that on how you can get in touch with me. And it might not be me, whoever it is that you believe in, that is going to guide you right, a Christian guiding Christian counselor, whoever Christian leader, or whoever it is you trust is going to guide you right. Please seek that person's go to that person, seek help when you need it. It's never a sign of weakness. It's never a sign of weakness. So I really hope you got the best out of this video, and I desire that you get it right both in your current and your future relationship or home. Don't forget, I'm a trained therapist. For any of your relationship concern and you think okay, you will need I'm a therapist actually, both for relationship and maybe for other issues that might not really be relationship, maybe depression, all of that. I'm trained to help you walk through those challenges. Yeah. So, but in case you have any issues that you feel you would love to reach out, you can always get in touch. All the information will be dropped in the description box below. Yeah. And I usually film release videos every Tuesday. That's, I record live videos this way, but you can always watch it later. But I'm always live recording every Tuesday by 5 p.m. So you can always drop by to watch it live, and you can always ask questions or whatever you think you need clarification. And by God's grace, the wisdom for me to address as much as I can, I will always do my best to answer every one of them. All right, and every Thursday I always make uploads that are released around 12 a.m. so every Thursday. So you can do well to always watch out for them and always come back every Tuesday. My social media handles, sort of my social media handles are down there. You can join and connect with me as well. Yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in, and don't fail to please like this video. If you found the content interesting, like it, and you can also share it to your own networks as well. Yeah, I really hope you get it right in everything you do, and God's grace in all you do. Remain safe and do take care.